Hello, fellow YouTubers. Hollywood Eric 86 again. I'm doing a special video rant after the eve of Survivor Series. I apologize for not uploading my Hell in a Cell rant like I promised. I got a little busy and I got a little flustered after my first video, so wasn't able to do that. But I'm going to try to, the best of my abilities, update you all from Hell in a Cell on down to Survivor Series, and then give you my input on what I thought of the Survivor Series pay-per-view. Now, as you fellow know, YouTubers and wrestling fans, my first video, is pretty notorious. I liked it pretty much because, my opinion, got some feelers out there, and a lot of people that were very famous saw my video, and I appreciate that. But I'm going to try the best I can to try to do as good a job as I did the first time, that I did as good a job as I did this time. So, here goes. On the eve of, after the events of Hell in a Cell, when Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker, Bray Wyatt and his family took it upon themselves to viciously beat The Undertaker into the ground and carry him away. And then the following night on Raw, do the exact same thing to Kane. Now, as everybody will find out, I am a fan of Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. But what they did to The Undertaker was uncalled for, and I was very upset with it. Not only was I upset with it, I was upset at how they let Undertaker lose to Brock Lesnar the same way he lost at WrestleMania 30. It was a rehash of what we as wrestling fans had already seen. Everybody who's going to talk about that low blow, I'm sorry to tell you all, Taker had that coming. And that's how Hell in a Cell closed, and I thought that was one of the better Hell in a Cell matches. That was probably the most vicious one that I had seen in a while. It was what it should have been for those two guys, as wrestlers, as men, and as fighters. And another one I will talk about is the Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns Hell in a Cell match that happened at that very same event. It was okay, but it could have been so much better on the level, because it was the final chapter of those two guys' feuds. And it should have been so much better. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of good high spots and a lot of good, action in it, but it didn't feel right. It should have been better. It was decent, but it should have been better. And it's going to lead into exactly what has gone on over the past few weeks leading into last night's Survivor Series, as it's been some 7 or 8 hours since the events of Survivor Series, and it's been pretty hectic month for me, because and hectic few weeks because of incidents that happened. And it also pertains to the New Day, who beat the Dudley Boys at Hell in a Cell, which I thought was absolutely fucking stupid. Because how dare you let the Dudley Boys, a tag team I think that revitalized your tag team division when they came in towards the tail end of your Attitude Era, and won 9 World Tag Team titles as part of your company. Technically 10, but more on that later. But you let the New Day beat them, and then we find out that the only reason you let them win those 2 matches is because you're going to let the Usos beat them down the road. I don't mean to hate on the Usos, because I'm one of their supporters, but that is a prime example of why tag teams or wrestling fans around the world are fucking pissed, because of the stupidity of Vince McMahon and the office up there thinking that the Usos, who have been out and not been tagging because one of the Uso brothers got hurt, what gives them the right to deserve a title shot and to tag against the New Day? And they become tag team champions. What did they do to ever deserve that? Nothing. But that's just my opinion, and I digress for the Uso guys out there, because I am a fan of the Usos, but this is my rant and my opinion and how I feel about how things should have been so much better. It's ridiculous. And another thing that I couldn't stand is the fact that pretty boy John Cena, Fruity Pebble bitch as I call him, fuck John Cena, loses the U.S. title to Alberto Del Rio, who, by the way, returned at Hell in a Cell, which I thought was a pretty cool thing, considering even though I am not a personal fan of Alberto, I can't stand him. Never have, never will. But the fact that he returned after being fired because an employee wanted to use racist comments and he punched him in the face, I said, was totally stupid. Because he had every right to defend himself, and instead of doing the right thing and firing the employee, they went and fired Alberto. It wasn't until 3 months later, when Alberto blew the whistle on how he got fired, that they fired the employee to try to save face. It didn't fucking work, people. We all knew it was bullshit. We all knew you should have done it before then. But I digress, and that's a rant for another day. Because, and then he beats him. And now with the circumstances that I'm going to get into here in a few minutes that pertains to the WWE Championship, John Cena is scheduled to make his return, but I think it's going to be sooner than what people think. Because after Seth Rollins defeated Kane at Hell in a Cell, which I thought was stupid because the match should have been so much better, and Kane should have done some more offense, Roman Reigns goes on Raw and has a phenomenal Fatal 4-Way match. Wins the champion and wins the number one contendership to the championship. And he earns his right to face Seth Rollins. That was a match I personally wanted to see because last year the fans got ripped off leading into Night of Champions because Roman Reigns suffered an appendix injury which caused him to miss 2 months. And the match never happened. It happened on Raw, but it was irrelevant because Rollins was not champion at that point in time. So I was looking forward to the match. And it was already signed and sealed, Roman Reigns for Seth Rollins at Survivor Series. And then about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when they were overseas in Dublin, Ireland, while he was performing his buckle powerbomb, he tears his MCL and ACL, and now the Architect will miss 6 to 9 months, and he had to be stripped of the WWE Championship, which was very heartbreaking for most people out there because again, we wouldn't see the match that everybody wanted to see. Now, everybody now is starting to paint Roman Reigns as this second version of John Cena. You know, from what I've seen at Survivor Series tonight, that may be true, but I'm still a fan of Roman Reigns from his days when he was in the Shield, although I hated the Shield personally. And I actually wanted to see if he could actually beat Rollins, and become the champion. But that was, that's very disheartening because I am a Rollins fan. So I'm just going to go out on a limb right now. I am a Seth Rollins fan. I am a supporter. Did I love what he did at WrestleMania? Hell yes, I did. You're damn right I loved it. Because he became the first man to cash in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. Did I like how he won the title in the triple threat? No, I did not. I honestly thought he should have waited till after the match between Lesnar and Roman Reigns ended. But the fact is, he picked his spot and he won the championship. And most people still are hurt because he pinned Roman Reigns. And I sympathize with those people because I honestly felt if he wanted to make an even validated point, he should have beat the champion. That was the current champion, which was the Beast Incarnate, and the next big thing, Brock Lesnar. But I digress. I thought it was absolutely funny. I loved it. And for the last 221 days, with the exception of maybe a few matches here and there, I have enjoyed seeing him as champion. Because he was what a heel should have been when it pertains to being a bad guy and running and being the guy for the Authority. Now, me, I am not a fan of the Authority. I wish Triple H would take off the fucking suit. Take it off, Baldy. We don't want to see you in there no more. Wrestle, for crying out loud. That's where you're born and bred. But I digress on that. Roman Reigns should have gotten the title shot that he had earned. But instead, Triple H involves a tournament to become the WWE Champion. And threw a curveball that for the only way for Roman not to technically be in the tournament and go all the way to the finals is if he joined the Authority. which I knew wouldn't happen because Roman's got morals that he won't join. So that may never happen, ladies and gentlemen, to try to probably save his career if he winds up becoming the second incarnation of John Cena. Because it's going down that road, and it scares me because I still like Roman Reigns, but I can't stand John Cena. And that's one of the reasons, and I'm sorry for all you John Cena fans out there, and this is a shout out to my boy Tyrone Magnus. Fuck John Cena. Fuck him. He should go away and stay gone because he doesn't belong in the world of wrestling, because he's not a wrestler. He's a fucking entertainer who sucks Vince McMahon's dick on a daily basis to get every damn thing he wants. And I apologize to all the C Nation fans out there and all the Cena fans, but I could care less. That's my personal opinion. But I apologize. But that match should have happened the way it should have been. It should have been Roman Reigns, number one contender who earned his shot, against another contender, and they fight for the title. But they created this tournament. So I thought it may be interesting, but the first thing I saw was they put Sheamus in there. Now, more on Sheamus here later on for the pay-per-view, but at that point in time, what the fuck was he doing in a tournament? He's the Money in the Bank winner. He has a guaranteed shot. You don't put somebody like that in the fucking main event already, or at least attempt to try to put him in there, because he already has a legitimate shot. That's like, say, if he went all the way to the tournament and he fought Roman Reigns beat him to become champion, he could immediately restart the match by cashing in his briefcase and still win the match. That'd be a stupid-ass main event. So, I was actually glad when he was eliminated, but it pissed me off, number one, because he was put in the tournament to begin with when he already has a guaranteed shot. It's something they can't take from him unless he puts the briefcase on the line. And that's only happened one time that I can remember, that they've lost their briefcase in an actual match. But I digress. Now, I did like some of the guys that was in there, like they had Cesaro in there, Dolph Ziggler, they had Kevin Owens, they had, Roman Reigns, of course, was in there, and then they had Dean Ambrose, the lunatic fringe, who I'm not a fan of, but I do respect, because if you all don't believe how tough this man was, go to Combat Zone Wrestling and watch him when he was under Jonathan Moxley. The man was one of the most vicious, hardcore guys that I've ever seen in my life. I didn't like him in Combat Zone Wrestling, but I loved how he was hardcore. But that's just me. I have differing opinions when it pertains to wrestlers. But I respect Ambrose on that aspect. And he's starting to show that he can actually be a performer because he stopped slap fighting. He needed to stop slapping people. You punch him. That's what you do. It's a closed fist, you dumb slap fight. So that's my opinion on that. Roman Reigns, on the other hand, he was put in there, and I knew what was going to happen. He wins his first match, and then Cesaro wins his. And it's automatically Cesaro versus Roman Reigns in the quarterfinals. That was a predictable match because Vince McMahon doesn't see Cesaro drawing money. But yet his crowd reactions and his Cesaro section go bigger every Monday night. And every week he wrestles. So Cesaro losing was crap. And then Ambrose wins his match, and then they let Kalisto beat Ryback in the first round. That was the stupidest damn thing I'd ever seen in my damn life. You bring Ryback back to try to make him back to where he was, and what do you do? What do you do, Vince, once you make him lose the Intercontinental Championship? You render him a joke. And now I'm starting to see that he's tagging with the Lucha Dragons. Really? I love the Lucha Dragons personally, but Ryback doesn't need to be in a damn six-man tag, especially with guys who are cruiserweights. That's people Ryback would eat for breakfast. And I'm not being disrespectful to the Lucha Dragons or to Kalisto or Sin Cara, but he's a big guy. He needs to be by himself. He was already in a tag team once, and that was the stupidest damn thing I'd ever seen in my life. But that was one of the things that made me mad about the tournament. But all in all, the tournament was fair. Because they had wrestlers in there that were good, but then they let Dolph Ziggler lose, which I knew was going to happen. Because Vince McMahon is yet to not let the man stop eating shit. And more on that later for the rant coming up. So, it goes down to the semifinals at Survivor Series. It's Kevin Owens and the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose taking on Roman Reigns and stupid Alberto Del Rio. Well, of course, Roman wins his first match. He goes to the finals automatically, which was already a given because it was Alberto. And then it was Ambrose and Owens. Now, me personally, I'm a Kevin Owens fan. I always have been because I remember him back in Kevin Steen when he was Kevin Steen in Ring of Honor. The fact that he won the Intercontinental title I loved, but also the fact that he was buried after he beat John Cena his first match is another prime reason why Vince McMahon can go to hell and don't know wrestling, because he pulled a Vince Russo on all of us, because Russo did the same shit to Jeff Jarrett. Because when you put John Cena in title matches, he very rarely loses. And the ones that do beat him wound up being buried down the road anyway. Or at least lose to John Cena in some form down the road. But the fact that Owens was in that match was perfect, and I don't like Dean Ambrose, so I was going for Owens. Everybody was going to say that's a good match. I was pissed at one aspect because of how he won. Because why is it he could use his dirty deeds and he pins Owens, but Owens couldn't get one pop-up powerbomb? I wouldn't give a shit less if he kicked out. Because he's not John Cena. So I could have let it go. But the fact is, you could have let him use the pop-up powerbomb. But they didn't do that. They allowed Ambrose to beat him clean and to make him, and basically, in my opinion, make him look weak. Was it a good match? Yes. But that nullifies it. So it's going to be, so the match has been set. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, WWE Championship. Now leading into another aspect in this Survivor Series was the Dolph Ziggler feud with Tyler Breeze. God, Vince, is this another one of your fucking ploys to make Dolph Ziggler eat shit? Really? You're bringing in a guy who calls himself Prince Pretty and takes fucking selfies on a selfie stick, really? This dude is a joke, Vince. A stupid joke. But yet, again, you're letting Dolph Ziggler eat shit, and making him look fucking weak. What are you trying to do? You're trying to draw crowd reactions from the people so they boo Dolph Ziggler so everybody can only stand behind Daniel fuck Bryan and John fuck Cena? Am I a member of the Yes Movement? Yes, I am. But as a wrestling fan, I get tired of everybody in the damn audience thinking that those are the only two guys that are worth a damn and you gotta change your plans for. I love Daniel Bryan and I love his wrestling ability. But the fact that the last 2 times in a row that he was given a championship or given the high spot, he gets injured. Every single time. And he hasn't been back since. And now I keep hearing rumors that he wants to come back, but the WWE is trying to play it safe so he doesn't ruin WrestleMania. That's a little spoiler for you wrestling fans and YouTubers. I'm sorry, Vince, if I spoiled your little secret, but it needs to be told. If you Daniel Bryan fans out there don't like that, I apologize, but I think it's a good thing. I think you should wait till after WrestleMania, so that way if anything needs to be changed, they already have what they wanted leading into 32. So they don't change shit again, and then if in case, by some chance he gets hurt again, they don't change much. Because when you're a champion, and you have plans for the title, and you get hurt when you don't have the belt long, it pisses off the writing staff because you got to change what the fuck you do. But Dolph Ziggler is one of the best performers I have seen in a long time. He is a version of Shawn Michaels that I have not seen. Now, I don't respect a lot of people for trying to rip off who they are. But Dolph Ziggler's got the ability, the mic skills, the wrestling ability. He gets the crowd over wherever he wants. And he has the charisma, damn it. The fucking charisma. He has the charisma of Shawn Michaels. He could even have the charisma of any other star you want to put him in because he put on world caliber matches, Vince. But you're still making me shit for comments he said about Randy Orton, which I know are true, even though I'm a fan of Randy Orton. But yet, what do? You let him lose. And then tonight at Survivor Series, you let Prince Pretty beat him again. How much more shit does he have to eat before you let him beat Dolph Ziggler? Before you kill another career like you did Kofi Kingston by sticking his ass in the New Day. And speaking of the New Day, they were in a 5-on-5 tag team match tonight. Traditional Survivor Series. It was the New Day and 2 of their partners taking on the Dudley Boys, Ryback, and the Lucha Dragons. And keep that in mind, the New Day's partners was Wade Barrett, or known as King Barrett, another guy that they're killing, and Sheamus in the traditional Survivor Series match. And again, what does Vince McMahon do? He annoys us with a 10-minute promo by the New Day about Xavier Woods' hair and yada yada yada. That we don't give a shit. Get in the damn ring and fight, or get in the damn ring and get your ass whooped and go shut the fuck up. Because we don't care, because we hate your ass. That's why we chant New Day sucks. And I swear to God, Xavier Woods, if you ever blew that trumpet in my damn face during the match, I will make you eat that shit. I'd beat the shit out of you and then shove that right up your ass. Because that trumpet can go to hell for all I care. It's annoying, it's stupid, and it gets no reaction from the crowd. It makes the match make it look 10 times more worse, you dummy. And of course, when Big E Langston gets eliminated, they run back to the back like pussies, leave Sheamus by themselves, and the Lucha Dragons, Titus O'Neil, Ryback, and the Usos win their match. Excuse me for saying the Dudley Boys, I was thinking of the kickoff show, which I'll get to you in a minute. And the Usos win, along with Ryback and the Lucha Dragons. So, with that being said, it just seems to me that the tag team division people don't care about no more. Because they're going to let the Usos again become tag team champions when they have the Dudley Boys, a caliber tag team who's already won the titles 9 times. And they've also been 8-time ECW tag team champions. They've won the TNA titles. They've been the NWA champions. And they've been the WCW tag team champions when the WWE ran it with the invasion angle. But again, that's Vince McMahon's little idea for the wrestling business. And then the kickoff show, when you had Neville's team, which was Adrian Neville, Titus O'Neil, the Dudley Boys, and I think and then a surprise entrant in the returning Goldust, which I thought was absolutely cool after the death of Dusty Rhodes. His father, the legendary American Dream. The man that wined and dined with kings and queens, and the man that slept in alleys and dined on pork and beans. There's my little Dusty Rhodes promo, my little Dusty Rhodes thing for the American Dream, one of my all-time heroes. May he rest in peace. And he took on his brother Stardust, the stupid-ass Ascension, who are fucking goof nuts and don't belong in the main roster, and took on Bo Dallas. And I think one other guy in that match that really didn't matter, and I can't remember, and I apologize for that, for the kickoff show. But Goldust team won. And I thought that was really cool, having Goldust return with Stardust. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it was the Miz. And my apologies. I just now remembered. I apologize. We wound up becoming the Miz, the Ascension, Stardust, and stupid ass Bo Dallas, and that on the Miz's team against Neville's team that consisted of the returning Goldust, which I loved. I apologize if I missed stuff and I mess up. I'm still new to YouTube. I'm trying my best to remember. I'm doing this on the lam here because it's really late at night, and I'm doing this because I felt bad because I didn't do the Hell in a Cell rant, and I'm trying to do both at the same time. But I'm more on Survivor Series because Survivor Series was a pretty decent pay-per-view. And then we come to the Paige Charlotte match. Now, as you all know, leading into Hell in a Cell last month, Charlotte was defending against Nikki Bella. And I've made it known to the people that I'm around that I thought they were turning Charlotte into John Cena, making her look weak. How she gets dominated and she wins matches in the end, which I wasn't going to like. Well, Nikki Bella, she beat her after Paige had already been bad. And then Paige got involved, and then, the match is finally set for Survivor Series. And it quite possibly wound up becoming one of the greatest moments in the history of Monday Night Raw when I saw 2 women actually get into a knockdown, drag-out brawl. I love that. But it was fueled by a comment that Paige made about Reed Flair, her little brother, that sadly passed away of an accidental overdose of alcohol and of drugs and heroin. And that was really sad. And Ric Flair got really upset about it. So they had to alter what she said in the promo. But that fueled Charlotte into beating the shit out of Paige, which I loved. because that was a phenomenal ending for Monday Night Raw. And Charlotte wound up winning the match over Paige. Although there may be some controversy because when she was doing her figure eight, her hands and feet were under the ropes, and per law of the rules, you gotta break the hold. But Paige tapped, Charlotte retained, still Divas champion. But yeah, but the U.S. Intercontinental titles wasn't defended because Del Rio and Owens was in the tournament. So that's what that was. It was that. That was that. Excuse me. And then it was on to the Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt family. Personally, for me, that was by far one of the most emotional matches I have ever seen in my life because I'm 29 years old, ladies and gentlemen. I have seen The Undertaker in every incarnation for the entire 25-year duration he has been in WWE, when it was called the World Wrestling Federation. And when his entrance hit, and I saw that big door that they had, I thought he was going to come out through that. But it was quite possibly one of the greatest moments of my life when he did his little entrance on the entrance ramp, and that door showed every single incarnation of him, from when he first started wearing the gray gloves to the purple gloves to him wearing his all-black garb and his Lord of Darkness persona, as I call it, along with the Dead Man. Then it parlayed into his Ministry of Darkness, and then it showed the American Badass. And I think it showed what he currently was then, with all of his different hairdos. I thought that was one of the most emotional moments of my life. I cried because he deserved it. That was his night. Because it was finally a Survivor Series that landed on the very night he debuted. Because on November 22nd, 1990, the Dead Man walked into the living rooms and the hearts of every single WWE fan, not a universe like I stated, a fan, because that's what you're all going to be referred to on my channel. You're going to be known as wrestling fans, not sports entertainment fans, not WWE Universe, wrestling fans. That's how I respect you. I am a wrestling fan, not a sports entertainment fan. I respect you that way by showing you that common courtesy. Even the John Cena lovers, I'll call that. But that was personally, for me, one of the greatest moments of my life. Because seeing that incarnation, because I'd been there for every single one. And I didn't know what it meant until after the match ended. The match wound up becoming Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt, which I loved because I wanted Bray Wyatt in the tag match because it made sense. But Undertaker hits the tombstone on Luke Harper, and the Brothers of Destruction win the match, and it was a great match. It showed why they made Taker what he should have been against Brock Lesnar. And when the match ended, I cried because then it got to the notion that maybe, just maybe, this was the Undertaker's last ride. That the gunfighter was going for one last battle. And he was going to walk away from the desert with his brother one last time. Because if anybody who saw that pay-per-view would look when he was on the entrance ramp and they did their little trademark Brothers of Destruction pose, it was a little delayed to a certain part of the song. It was like it didn't want to be over. And Kane's reaction was, maybe this is probably the last time I'll ever tag with you. Because if this is the end of The Undertaker's career, damn it, he went out on the note that he should have went out on. Not only did he get the victory, but he went out dominant and showed why he was the reaper of wayward souls and why he was the most feared entity in the WWE. Words that he used against Kane back in 1998, leading into their first ever encounter at WrestleMania 14. I cried when that happened. Because Undertaker is one of my favorite heroes, and he's one of the last remaining professional wrestlers or last remaining childhood wrestlers that are still around that I remember watching because of this new generation coming in. And then came time for the main event. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, WWE Championship, or as you like to call it now, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And it was a pretty decent match, all in all. But the ending kind of pissed me off, even though I wanted Roman to win. The fact that Roman hit the spear and beat Ambrose clean, it didn't feel right because I wanted a heel turn from either one of them. Because there was a lot of rumors going around throughout this entire time leading in to Survivor Series about people turning heel. So, people were calling for Ambrose, but I thought it would be Reigns because it would be something that nobody would expect. But a twist happened. When Reigns is celebrating his championship win by finally achieving what he did not get the other 3 times he tried, including his match at WrestleMania. Triple H comes out there. Now, see, I knew that something was going to happen because there was still time left at the pay-per-view. Well, Triple H comes out there and raises Roman's hand, and Roman's got that look like, what the fuck you doing out here? And then he wants to go shake his hand. Roman responds in Roman Reigns fashion and spears him. Well, the fans start cheering. What I didn't see was, I was thinking, where the hell's Sheamus? What better way for, this, that, if Sheamus Sheamus did it, and that's exactly what happened. He turns around, Sheamus hit him with a bro kick. He got knocked out. He kicked out one time, and then he tried to reverse it, and Sheamus hit him again, and pinned him 1, 2, 3, and then now your new WWE champion, or World Heavyweight Champion, is Sheamus. He cashed in the Money in the Bank, and he beat Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns won the title. Now, everybody loved it. It pissed me off because now the authorities got a jackass for a leader instead of the man that they painted as the man. So, Seth Rollins, if you're watching, I hope when you come back after your 6 to 9 months, I hope you make it 4 months. I hope you pull a John Cena and you come back in 4 months and in March. And I hope to God that when you come back in March, that you step up to that stupid ass haircut looking motherfucker and you slap him across the face and you beat that ass and you show them why I respect you. Show them that you're a wrestler, not a cheater, and that you don't run. So at WrestleMania, when you take that title from his ass, you show them why you were the man. Not because the authority picked you, but show them why I respected you as a wrestler. When you were in Ring of Honor and anywhere you went before you came there. I said, but if you can't come back in 4 months and you have to wait 6 to 9 months, whomever's got the belt, you beat that fucking ass. And then you take it and you beat Hunter with it. Me as a wrestling fan personally, everybody's going to enjoy it and love it because it's now Sheamus and not Roman Reigns. It was a predictable thing. The only thing about that was the only thing about tonight I really didn't like. The main event was the one thing that turned me off, but all in all, Survivor Series was one of the better pay-per-views that I had seen in a while. Hell in a Cell was awesome, but there were a few matches in between that I didn't like. The Charlotte and Nikki Bella match I thought should have been better when it came to Charlotte wrestling. I thought the Rollins title match when he was champion should have been better with Kane. I thought that the Roman Reigns Bray Wyatt match, even though it was good, it should have been so much more brutal because it was the final chapter. And, and then the Dudley Boys jobbing to the New Day back then I hated. And now with the fact that the Usos may get the title shot and possibly beat them, just irritates me because the Dudley Boys are 10 times more of a tag team than the New Day was. But that's Vince McMahon's little logic to play on the wrestling fans. And hopefully down the road I can bring in somebody that has the same kind of differing opinion as I do when it pertains to coming on my show, because I might want to bring guests on this show to do their rants for me or rant alongside me, because I'm an open-minded person. You can debate against me or you can rant with me, it don't matter. And I hope that you guys leave comments this time on this video, because I really would appreciate it, or feedback or like or whatever, or subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's Hollywood Eric 86. I just thought I'd come on here and do my second video for both Hell in a Cell and Survivor Series. I know it was more garnered towards Survivor Series, but I kind of wanted to give you the rundown from Hell in a Cell to now, since I missed it the first time, and I deeply and humbly apologize. I will send you a third video. I do not know when. When I get the more free time, I will send you a third video. I promise you that. But I thought I'd come on here now because I'm recording the replay of Survivor Series right now, and I had the free time, that I give the rundown of my personal opinion of Survivor Series and what I think is going to happen. And as it pertains to John Cena, with the outline of what's going to happen now for the title, I'm only going to tell you this once, John Cena. Don't attempt to go for 16. Because if you think everybody's going to love that, you need to go back and watch SummerSlam, asshole. Because we, as wrestling fans, don't want that. I love Ric Flair more than anything in this world because Ric Flair is a man. He was a man's man. He was a true champion. He was the epitome of what a world champion should be. He has 16 of those. He earned every single one of them. Now, everybody may say his 16th reign was handed to him, but everybody knows that was Vince fuck Russo's fault. Even the WCW and hardcore true fans know it. Because how many titles was Jeff Jarrett handed in WCW? Tell me. Because I guarantee you can possibly know that, or how many was he handed in TNA when they had the NWA title. Because that's exactly what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to set this up so Sheamus can keep the belt, so John Cena can get it. Because TLC is in Boston. And John Cena lives right down the street from West Newbury. They'll still boo him, but the fact is I know that Fruity Pebble's going to be in the fucking building, or at least be there at the event. And it's either going to lead into him becoming champion at the Royal Rumble, or him entering the Royal Rumble and winning it for a third time. Another fucking record he don't earn. Fuck you, Cena. Fuck John Cena. And I apologize again for all the John Cena fans out there that don't like my opinion towards John Cena. But that's one thing me and Tyrone Magnus will always have in common. We hate John Cena. We hate what he stands for. His character is stagnant. He needs to change. But in my opinion, he needs to go bye-bye and stay there. And needs to fucking marry Nikki Bella right now before she actually leaves him for a real man. But that's my opinion. I apologize. I'm about to wrap this up. It went a little bit longer. But this is my rant for Survivor Series and all those stuff in the world of wrestling. If anything interesting happens on there, I probably will come back on here again. Later on down the road, you will get a third video, and you will get a follow-up to my Vince Russo video for the first one I ever did, because I have found more shit on that lying bastard that proves that he is nothing but a liar and he hasn't changed. Because I found out what British TV show it was. Wrestle Talk TV. If you YouTubers or wrestling fans on there, get on YouTube, go to Wrestle Talk TV and find the Vince Russo interview, because there's a 2-part interview, and you'll see that he's a liar. That the little comments he had about Eric Bischoff was a lie of a desperate fucking man. That's my video. This is my rant. I'm Hollywood Eric 86. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Have a good night. And if in case I don't see you again until then, happy Thanksgiving. Have a pleasant week.